Have you ever wondered what a single day in the life of a nation of 1.4 billion people actually looks like? Well, it's this incredible mix of high-stakes legal battles, really personal struggles for identity, huge economic shifts, and of course, vibrant ancient celebrations all happening at once. Today, we're going to look at four completely different stories that, when you put them together, paint a fascinating picture of modern India.
So let's dive right in. First, we're heading to the Supreme Court, where a huge decision could affect millions of voters. Then we'll journey out to the remote Nicobar Islands for a story about a community's fight for their land. After that, we'll crunch some surprising new numbers about India's economy. And we'll wrap it all up by soaking in the color and unity of the Basant Panchami festival.
Okay, our first story takes us right to the top, to the Supreme Court of India. We're looking at what seems like a simple procedural thing, updating voter lists, but it turns out it has massive implications for millions and millions of people.
And this gets right to the heart of the whole issue. The Supreme Court is basically asking the Election Commission, hey, what's the real reason you're doing this massive revision of voter lists? Is this whole process, the Special Summary Revision, or SIR, is it secretly a way to check on citizenship and deal with illegal immigration?
Now, why does that question matter so much? Just look at this number. That's 65 million names. 65 million. That's how many names were taken off the draft electoral rules during this process. This isn't just some small clerical update. This is a staggering number of people whose right to vote is suddenly being questioned.
And this quote from Justice Bagchi, it really nails the court's main concern. He's pretty much saying that if the real reason, or the trigger, for all of this was citizenship, well, the official notice sure wasn't clear about it. The court is demanding some real transparency on a process that could change everything for millions of voters. Okay, let's move now from the nation's capital to a really remote island chain for a totally different kind of fight. A battle over land, over heritage, and really over the future of an entire community.
So this is the Great Nicobar Island, and it's the planned site for a massive infrastructure project. But for the indigenous Nicobarese people, this isn't just some empty patch of land. It's their home. It's their ancestral home, where they've lived for generations.
Now, the tension here just shot through the roof at a recent meeting. According to the tribal council members, officials showed up with a document and basically asked them to sign what they called a surrender certificate, to just give up their claims on their tribal lands for this project.
And their response? It was immediate. It was firm. It was a no way. As you can see from their words here, their reasoning is so simple but so powerful. This is our heritage. If we sign this away, what do our kids and their kids have left? For them, this is a fight for their very survival.
All right, let's switch gears completely now and talk about the economy. Specifically, how Indians are spending their money overseas, because some new data from the Reserve Bank of India is showing a pretty significant and honestly unexpected trend.
So what's causing this slowdown? Well, a huge part of the answer is right here, a massive 30% drop in spending on foreign education in just 1 year. That one category is having a huge ripple effect on the overall numbers. The big question is, why are families pulling back on what's usually one of the most important investments they can make? As you can see here, the total amount of money being sent abroad, or outward remittances, actually fell to a 2-year low. Now, while the total drop from last November isn't gigantic, it definitely signals a change. Analysts think that with costs rising in places like the US and the UK, plus all the global uncertainty, Indian families are just being a lot more careful with their money, especially with huge expenses like foreign tuition.
And for our final story, we are stepping away from courtrooms and balance sheets and right into the vibrant world of culture and faith. It's a day of celebration all across India, Basant Panchami.
So what is Basant Panchami? Well, think of it as the festival that officially says goodbye to winter and hello to spring. But it's also a deeply spiritual day. It's dedicated to Saraswati, the Hindu goddess of, well, all the good stuff. Knowledge, music, arts, wisdom, you name it.
And this is what's truly beautiful about this festival. It's not just for one group. It crosses religious lines. While Hindus are worshiping goddess Saraswati, Sikhs are also holding sacred commemorations at famous gurdwaras. And in Sufism, there's this amazing tradition of celebrating Basant Panchami that goes back centuries, all the way to the poet Amir Khusro. It's a shared moment of culture, a real testament to unity. So we end right back where we started. A high court debating citizenship, a tribal community defending their home, economic data showing a new kind of caution, and a festival of spring celebrated by millions across different faiths.
By themselves, they're just snapshots. But together, they really make you wonder, right? How do all these separate stories about governance, land, money, and faith all weave together to tell the single, complex, and always changing story of India today?